Guys, we got this great clip from one of our long content videos. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Enjoy. Let's talk about what it's like to live on the island of Puerto Rico and what you can expect. When you come to the island, and many people think that the cost of living will be less on the island of Puerto Rico, and that is probably true, and I'm picking on California. It's probably true if you're coming from California. It's probably true if you're coming from New York or the Northeast of the United States of America, but it's probably not true if you come from the Midwest. It's probably not true if you're coming from the South. I think moving here from Florida, I can't really tell a difference in the cost of living from Florida to Puerto Rico. They're about the same. What's more expensive? Food is more expensive here on the island and harder to get sometimes. Supplies for construction are more expensive and much harder to get sometimes. That has to do with the Jones Act, which is another unfortunate piece of legislature that's been around forever and ever and maybe has served its purpose, but there's still a fight as to whether that continues or not. I'd love to see it go away so that goods and services could become a little bit cheaper. But right now, we're running through inflation, right? Everybody's seen this in the States, and Puerto Rico has seen this too. So gas is more expensive, food is more expensive. Rents are mostly lower than most of the East Coast of the United States, and definitely if you're coming from out west. Maybe they're similar to if you grew up in or you're coming from the Midwest. So I have seen rents rising on the island, and certainly there are pockets of the island where they're tremendously expensive. Like if you go live in Gringoland in Dorado and you want to live in the country club, you're going to pay an arm and a leg there. I mean, it's very, very expensive to live there. That's not my kind of living. That's not what we like to do, but there are people that love it. I have friends that are out there that they come in and they go out there to the golf course and they never leave, and they don't mind living that kind of life. That hasn't been for me. Maybe it's for you. If you do want that, it's not going to be any cheaper to live on that golf course than it is to live on the golf club in Orlando or the golf club in New York, right? Like it's expensive living to live that country club style living. So when you come to the island, don't probably expect that your living expenses are going to go down. It's possible that if you move out into the mountains, you could buy a very inexpensive house and you could live sort of off grid and do it really inexpensively. But for most of you, it's not going to be that. It's going to be relatively the same as it is back in the States. What I'd like to say about Puerto Rico, though, coming here to start a business, and there was recently an article out there that starting a business in San Juan is one of the hardest places to start a business in the entire United States of America. And I think that that could possibly be true, that it is hard, but I want to tell you that it has been absolutely a dream scenario for us. It has been worth it in every single way and every single time. So even though I say some things are harder on the island of Puerto Rico, I'm telling you, it's worth it. Come and do it. You just have to be willing to work through these problems, work through these issues. So if the government of Puerto Rico is difficult on permitting, but you can buy the real estate really well, that still makes for a good investment. Let's talk about wages. So if you're going to come here and you're going to start a business, wages are important to you, right? And while we have one of the lowest minimum wages in the United States, we've seen wage growth. And I hope, guys, that as you come here, you're not looking to just hire minimum wage employees. We have seen a wage growth that's tremendous on the island. So when we first came to the island, I have a good friend that I talk about who has a big roofing company on the island, and he was paying people minimum wage for like a 90-day trial period and then giving them a raise, either giving them a raise or firing them. And that was his method of teaching people how to be roofers. And I think his wages have increased like 50% over the last 5 years. And so in our business, some of the things that we've seen, we do lots of construction on the island, and we've seen the price for skilled labor and non-skilled labor sort of skyrocket. And that's pretty great, right? Like, so you want to see this sort of wage growth. We want to see people getting good, skilled, high-paying jobs, learning a trade, right? Like, so these are some things that excite me as a business owner. I don't want to have a business where I've got a dozen people working for minimum wage. I want to have a business that is able to lift people up, teaches someone a skill set, and brings them alongside of us so that they can make more money. It's my goal and my dream that in our businesses, we want everybody to be well paid. And if you're that type of an entrepreneur, you're going to love it here because there is a very skilled labor set. Here's another one that you can expect when you come to the island of Puerto Rico. We have, hands down, the best infrastructure of any island in the Caribbean. And we have potholes that you sometimes should build a bridge over. And we have power that goes out on a daily basis sometimes for no reason at all. But having been here for 6 years, I can tell you, the roads are better and they're improving all the time. the power grid is better and it's improving all the time. And there's protests and there's, changes, mass changes from one company to the other company. But I really believe that Luma is doing a good job trying to improve the power grid. And so we've seen that over 6 years of living on the island. Now the power really does only probably go out once or twice a week for a short period of time, where when we first came to the island, the power was still off from the storm of Maria. It was a really frustrating time, but we've seen the grid get better. We've seen the infrastructure get better. And regardless of that, we already know that this, as far as the Caribbean islands go, Puerto Rico's got a very good power grid. It's got good road systems. This is still the United States of America. So this is a really nice place where you can come and live in paradise. Hey guys, thanks for watching that. Subscribe to our channel, watch this next, and then also check out the pinned content for more great content, guys. God bless.